lives one day at a time. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. They're here to get your day going fine. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. Kimmy Kim and Elations Radio. And here's your host, Miss Kim Robinson.
Shout out D on the track, Paint Music Media. Shout out DJ Lee Productions, and I'm Al Care. But if you a game changer, got my head in. My grind don't hide, win, lose, or drought. I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 I'm full court press. I pledge allegiance to the best. Ain't nothing left to give it that reverence that the Father gets. So every day I work the sweat, can get a flesh another rest. They say go hard or go home. I say just do whatever's best. It's evident I'm blessed and I work like it. Fight like a Viking. Fight like a lichen. The difference is I like it, so I shine like I'm lightning. So I'm going head to head with certain depth. Who you liking? Yeah. So it's time for coach to put me in. I'm strapping on my shoulder pads, lacing up my cleats, and then I'm gone with the wind. Like I'm gone in 60 seconds. You can't hold me, you can't check me. Check the memo, check the message running through. Like I'm baddest, I'm trucking whoever's standing in my way. Ain't no way you gon' stop me. You better off to let me in. Cause I go hard, even though they say no way that I could win. Like I'm Brett Ford, I'ma ride this game. My head to the sky, my grind don't hide. Win, lose, or drought, I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 Yeah, I told you once before, my God came to change the game. Different outlook on to life, a different way to play the lane. Now my rush and yours is skyrocketing. Now I'm so insane. For the kingdom building, now my shot, it cannot be contained. So I'm gon' pray for change for myself and then what I can. I don't need no euros or no pesos or no money grams. Shout out to Wado, cause I know that he gon' play this fam. The FCA Sports Camp, game changer, summer jam. I don't need 100 grand to tell them that they need the lamb. It's heaven, it's just who I am. Al Kim, this where I stand. Man, I'm gon' play the fist. It's too deep to turn it quick. It's like I'm out from the trap to turn around, get back in it. Never that's so insane. It's evident your book they chain. Like I'm Jack Johnson, the same year he changed his name. So I sacrifice my life for the cause just to win. And if you a game changer, let me see you represent. My grind don't hide. Win, lose, or drought, I'ma ride till I die. I go hard in that lane. My God is the aim. Put me in, coach, and watch me change the game. Cause I'm a game changer. 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 Now put me in, coach. 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 I'ma go hard.
I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard. I'ma go hard.
Cause I'm now a game changer. I'm a game changer. I'm a game changer.
And God said, listen to people. They can do anything. I mean, the people can do anything, and yet they choose to do this. I mean, think about that. You know, when the people was building the Tower of Babel, when they was trying to build the tower up to heaven, and God looked down, and God said, look at these people. You know, they can do anything, but they're choosing to do this. And then God said, you know, I gotta do something about it. I gotta confuse their language. I gotta change their language so that they can't speak to each other, so they can't be on. Because you know what? If these people are all on the same accord, if they're all doing the same thing, if they're all connected and working together, there's nothing they can't do. You see, the key is God could have just stopped them. God could have did all sorts of things, but God gave you a clue. God said, now check this out. The people can do anything. They really can. And they're choosing to do this. He's like, if you can choose to do anything, go heal some people. Go share. Go save some people. Go plant. Go help some. Go do some other stuff. But you're choosing to do this. But then God came back and said, you know, it's amazing because all I have to do is confuse their language. All I have to do is keep them from being on the same accord, you know. It's like the divide and conquer. It's like if I just confuse their language, you know, then now they're not going to stay on the same, you know, same path, and then now they're not going to do what they're supposed to do. But we would have just known if we work together and stay on the same path, we can do anything, you know. But it's like we don't believe some of these things. Didn't Jesus say just the faith of a mustard seed? Didn't Jesus say ye? Didn't I say ye are God? Didn't Jesus say things that I do, you too can do? You see, people now, we think that there has to be some burning bush for us to have a revelation from God. We think that the sea must split for us to have a revelation from God. But you must know that at the time when those things occurred, those were miracles that hadn't happened before neither. You see, but the people believed. The people believed that those things could happen and that those things did happen, and then they believed they happened for a specific reason that they did happen. You see, we are so quick to define things off for something else instead of saying that's God doing it for us. You know, we're so quick to not think that miracles are happening every day, and miracles are happening every day. It doesn't have to be reported on the TV. It doesn't have to be reported in the newspaper. It doesn't have to be reported on the Internet for us to know that miracles are happening. I mean, miracles are happening in everybody's life. The fact is, the point is, do you believe? Or are you just going to write those miracles off? The point of the fact is, do you believe what the great books say? Do you believe what we know is facts right now? Do you believe that anything is possible? There was a time, you want to go back 100 years, 120 years from now, and you told those people that we was going to be able to fly. That we would go from the West Coast all the way to Japan, and we could do that in less than people would thought you was crazy. If you would try to explain to someone who lived in the 1930s, 1940s, that you can pick up a small device, a phone, that has nothing connected to it, and you could say, hello, just that lightly, and someone way in Australia could hear you just as well as if you scream right here and they couldn't hear you 2 blocks away, they would have thought that you was out of your freaking mind. But see, someone believed, and someone kept working on these things. And what we're finding out now is that what we've been told all these times about possible, what can happen, what can be done, is actually true. Yeah, you're going to have some people that's still not going to have faith and still not going to believe. But that's just, I mean, think about it. The people wandered in the wilderness for 40 years. Every day God provided them with food and resources, and they lived, and they still squandered, and they still complain, and they still ask questions. And you're like, dude, you're still here. I mean, we have it all the time. You hear people complaining about their lives, about how things are not going well for them. And lo and behold, they're still living. I'll give you an example. I was at a football game, an Ohio State football game. I was outside getting something for my kids, and I was sitting on the table, and a guy came and sit on the table with me. And we were sitting there waiting for the line to go down, and then the lady came and said, I just want to tell you guys, that table, it could fall, and I don't want you guys falling. I said, I'm not worried about it. If it falls, I can jump up quick enough that I won't hit the ground. The guy said, let me get up because I'm cursed. And I looked at this guy, and there's an older white gentleman, dressed nice. He said, let me get up because I'm cursed. And I looked at him, and I kind of said, I'm serious. And I laughed. I said, well, I don't believe in curse. He said, huh? I said, I don't believe in curses and stuff. He said, well, let me tell you something. I said, what? And he goes to tell me a story. The first question he asked me, he said, do you know there was a catastrophe that was worse than the shooting that happened in Las Vegas? I said, what do you mean? He said, the shooting in Las Vegas, I think it killed 50-some, the sniper, whoever the guy was, killed 50-some people. He said, there was something even worse than that. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, I think it was the 1980s, if I'm not mistaken, there was a fire at the MGM Grand. And he said it killed like 80-some people. I say, huh? He said, yeah. I said, what? It killed 80-some people? He said, yeah. So I looked and I did the research, but at the time, I had my phone. He said it killed 80-some people. He said, I was there. I said, you was there? He said, yeah. He said, I was in the military. I happened to be off that day. I was in Las Vegas. The MGM Grand caught a fire, and I volunteered to help. And I went there. He said, what was happening back in the day, they didn't have the same safety precautions they have now. So some people died because they was burnt. Some people died from ventilation, smoke ventilation. Some people died on elevators. Some died in their sleep in their rooms. And he started telling me all these stories. And I said, man, that's tough. He said, yeah, man. He said, the harder part is this. He said, as we was getting the dead bodies and putting the dead bodies in bodies bags, we wanted to get them out quick enough because it's not healthy and safe to have dead bodies laying outside, and plus you want to respect the bodies. And he said some of the people's bodies was just so burnt that they was just stiff. And he started telling me a story about a man who must have been a businessman who died with his hand stuck on the suitcase, and it was burning. He couldn't get the guy's body in a body bag because his limbs were stuck, and his hand was stuck to the suitcase. And he said the guys were screaming at him, get the body in the bag, get him in the bag. They were going quickly, and he was trying to hurry up and get the suitcase off the man's arm and broke the man's arm. Now, I'm at a football game. I'm at the Ohio State football game. It's 100 and some thousand people here. We in a little food area, and he's telling me this story, and this man, older white gentleman, starts to cry. And I'm looking at this guy. He starts to cry. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, my goodness. And then he says, that ain't even the word. He said, the thing is crazy. He said, when I got back home, I looked up some of the people who had died, and he said, I found out that one of them was from Ohio. And he said she's from the same area we're from, right around here in Columbus. He said, so every year I started going once a month to visit this girl's body, one of the bodies he put in there. He said after his mom passed, he felt bad because his mom happened to be buried in the same cemetery that this girl was buried in. So he was like, I can't go by this cemetery and see this girl body without seeing my mom's body. And I'm looking at this guy like, man. I said, well, that's unfortunate. You help people out, whatever. He said, and at the end of it, he started telling me about how he got bit by a dog with rape. I mean, just all these crazy stories, one after another, how he was a firefighter and how he did all these different things and over 15, 20 years. And after he finished saying it, I said, you know what, though? I said, you've told me stories about planes crashing that you should have been in. You told me stories about that fire at MCM Grand. You told me stories about illnesses and sicknesses and all these types of things. But you're still here, buddy. I said, God put you here for a reason, didn't he? All these incidents that you've been in, all these catastrophes and stuff, and somehow out of all of them, you still made it. So the question is, why? Why is God keeping you here? It has to be a reason. It ain't just for you to tell me this story here at this football game. It has to be a reason. So instead of you saying, oh, my goodness, I'm cursed, no, you're not, because you made it. So you can use these stories, you can use these examples as something bigger. You can teach, you can share things. I didn't know that something had happened at the MGM Grand. And he was relaying messages on how, people died in the stairwell because back in the day, when the fire would hit a hotel, the doors were locked, so you couldn't get in and out. And it's not like that no more. But my point is just a change in the way you think about things, going from saying, you know what, I'm cursed because I just so happen to be around all these crazy catastrophes and incidents and bad things happening. Change your mindset from that to something that's saying, you know what, I'm blessed. Through all these things that I've been around and all these other people who've died, I'm still here. I'm still here to share my story. I'm here to turn my mess into my message. I'm here to turn my test into my testimony. And somebody needs to hear it. You see, I think a lot of times we give up a little bit too soon on stuff. We think it's no more hope. We think that things. It's like back in the day when the Egyptians was coming and they had the Egyptians coming one way and the sea was behind them, and some people sat there and all they did was complain. Why this and that? And one person said, you know what? If I go that way, I'm gonna have to see these Egyptians, and I know I can't beat all of them with all the weaponry. I'm just gonna try to swim. Now you know you can't swim across it, but he said I'm gonna try, and then that sea opened up. You see, there's some all of the examples of miracles happening is examples of someone that took the leap of faith, that believed a little bit differently than everybody else. I always say you can't make the game-winning shot until you take the game-winning shot. See, most people don't make the game-winning shot simply because they don't take it. You know, most people just, for some odd reason, give up a little too early. You know, and that's not giving yourself a chance for a miracle to happen. You see, miracles happen when it looks like there's no other chance. So if you give up too early, then now you haven't allowed the miracle to happen. You know, that's by default. If it wasn't something that was dire, it wouldn't be considered a miracle. If the person wasn't dead and didn't get brought back alive, that wouldn't be considered. If it's already alive, then it's not a miracle, right? You know, if the sea always split, it wouldn't be a miracle. So, and we know miracles happen. We know people that have been in plane crashes and the survived. I remember a story about it later. A girl who was on a plane with her family when they was going somewhere, and the plane, broke into pieces in the air. And she said it was a big old storm. And she said her mom was on this storm. You can look this story up. And her mom said, "Oh, that's it." And they heard a pow. And she said when she heard a pow, because her mom said this is it. She heard a pow. She blacked out. And she said the next thing she remembered, she woke up and she was falling. She was still in her seat, but she was falling, like in her seat, still in her seat belt. I don't know how many 1,000 feet up, but she was falling. And she saw herself fall, and she said she blacked out again, right? And she said the next thing she knows, she woke up, and she was it was in Brazil, like in the Amazon or something. She woke up, and she was on the ground, and she was still in her seat, but she had a couple of broken something, I think her ribs or legs or something, right? And she ended up, getting up and getting herself moving, right? And what ended up happening was when she woke, when the plane exploded or whatever it happened, it broke apart. She came out. She was still part of her seat. And then when she came to and saw that she was in the middle of the sky, she passed out again. Your body tried to protect itself when something shocking like that happens, and she passed out again. And when she passed out, when the seat in the plane was going down, it was hitting all the trees and stuff. And luckily for her, the way that it was hitting the trees and the way that the ground was, it just broke her fall. I mean, she still was messed up, but it broke her fall. And so she sat there for a while and realized that nobody was coming and things wasn't looking good, so she started moving, started walking. And lo and behold, every couple of feet she'll see parts of a plane, she'll see a couple of dead bodies, and she saw all this stuff. But long story short, she kept trying to plug away, and she ended up, being saved. And again, that's a catastrophe, but you can look at it one of two ways. You can look at it and say, why me? And God says, why not you? Who would you prefer it to be? Or you can look at it and say, you know what, this is a chance for me to exercise my faith. This is a chance for me to talk about the miracles that God has shown in my life, Because sometimes, my stepdad, and this is a personal thing, my stepdad, when I was a kid, I was a senior in high school, my stepdad died. Now, he was 74 years old when he passed. Nicest man I've met in my life. I still believe he was an angel. I think God brought my stepdad into my life to be an angel for me so that I could be here right now. I honestly believe that. I honestly believe that. And I remember after he passed, to be honest with you, I was mad at God. I just couldn't see how so many, and I'm from the slums, so I can see how so many bad people that did all sorts of terrible things seemed to be living and doing well, and yet he would take my stepfather from me my senior year in high school. The one angel that I felt like that I had that I could always rely on, depend on no matter what, I just couldn't see the reasoning behind it. And I was mad. I was hurt and I was mad, and it was a tough time for me, And what made it even worse is because my stepdad went through a lot. He was the nicest person I ever met. People always kind of treated him bad, and he just laughed it off or smiled it off and was always just an angel. And I just felt, man, that's messed up. Somebody who's this nice, this good of a person, never had an enemy or nothing. You know, why did he have to be poor his whole life? He went to the military. You know, he went through discrimination and racism and, you know, just struggled, man. I mean, just struggled his entire life. And I just said, man, this isn't right. Because I know other people that, you know, they just, you know, from the day they was born to the day they died, they just had it made. I'm like, what is that about? And I read some that said maybe God sent some people to the earth just to suffer. And I said, well, hold on, that's a bad. Why would he send someone just to suffer? And it was like to suffer to show others that there can be an awakening, there can be a positive, there can be a good thing that comes from the suffering. You know, because all of us can't do it. See, if I would have gone through 1/10 of what my stepdad went through, it would have changed me. I wouldn't have been as polite as he was. I wouldn't have been as honest and truthful. I wouldn't have been able to be what he was. If I can have the influence on someone else's life or my kid's life, like my stepdad had on me, I've succeeded as a parent. And you're seeing the reason I feel that way is because I saw the way that he suffered. He suffered in the way of not a victim, but he suffered in a way of saying, you know what, you can still be everything to somebody even through the suffering. And my biological father is an amazing person. He truly is. But my stepdad, it's just the way that he handled every single thing. And I just thought, man, why wouldn't you would think that God would just, you know, bless this, but God did bless him. He blessed him with the humility. He blessed him with the ability to suffer because everybody can't suffer like that. You see? So I look at life and I say, as I go through this Khadevis Robinson challenge, the challenge I have is to open my eyes and understand that through the blessings and the suffering, I can bless others. The way that I handle my blessings and my sufferings in the movie Training Day, it's a part that says all you have is your laughs and your cries, your frowns and your smiles, you know. But all you have is your blessings and your suffering. And then how you respond to it's easy to respond great with faith and everything when things are going really, really well. But how do you respond when things are going not so well? You know, as a coach, when we have my athletes have competitions, there's a thin line between when they run poorly. It's a thin line between saying, "Oh, it's going to be all right," and saying, "Man, what kind of," you know, you got to figure out which way to go. It's the same thing with life. It's like you get a blessing, and you got to thank God and thank the universe and thank people for it. It's like getting a present. You know, if somebody keep giving you a present, you don't thank them for it, then sooner or later they might stop giving it to you. But also, when things are not going your way, you have to be able to keep moving forward and keep being positive and keep working the right route. I mean, think about it. If Moses would have went to the Pharaoh the first time and things didn't go his way, he would say, "Oh, forget about it." Then how would that turn out for anybody? You know, how would that story turn out? So my challenge for everyone today is that, you know, when you're going through something, we're all going through something. Either you're going through something, you've gone through some, or you're about to go through some. When you're going through some, just understand that, you know, we only can see so far, but God can see much farther. So this is a test of faith. This week, no matter if it's having a kid, no matter if it's trying to graduate from college, no matter if it's you've seen a lot of debt, no matter if you broke up with a spouse, no matter if you got some sickness in your family, no matter if you don't know how you're gonna pay your bills, no matter if you're questioning your faith, no matter what it is. Just hold back and hold your faith for another week. Just hold your faith for another week. And while you do that, do one more thing. Silently pray for somebody. Not the I mean, you are always praying for certain people in your life, but pick some random person and pray for them. Just for this week. Don't even let them know you're praying for them. Just pray for them every day for this week. Just pray for this person. Don't even let them know you're praying for them. Silently pray for this person for a week. Watch the miracles God perform. This is Khadevis Robinson. This is the Khadevis Robinson Challenge. And once again, holla.
Ayy, cruising in the wheel, feeling alright. Turn up my worship at the red light. Getting lost in my praise, but I'm too high. Light turn green, now they honking, they'll be alright. Cruising in the wheel, feeling alright. Turn up my worship at the red light. Getting lost in my praise, but I'm too high. Light turn green, now they honking, they'll be alright. They be trying to put the hoses to my fire. They don't understand why I be praising my Messiah. Sounding like a church in my car with no choir. The windows roll down, turn it up a little higher. When I'm in the spirit, I be feeling transformed. Want me turn it down, saying no to lukewarm. God say do it, better do it, been warned. Baptize my renew, feeling reborn. I know there's a lot that don't like how I do things. They be trying to take me down, trying new things. They don't understand I got protection from the true King. There's a cross on my back that they must clean. Sending praise to the heaven like it's fireworks. Everybody want the chorus, how the body works. Sunday night praising God till the body hurts. Giving honor to the Father for his mighty works. If you're looking for a reason, I can give you one. Think about a battle that you shouldn't have won. If you woke up in the morning, there's another one. If I was you, I would give praise to the Holy One. God gave me joy so the world can't take it. Riding on the boat, sending waves, trying to shake it. Aiming for my faith on the daily, trying to break it. Real fruits from the vine, can't fake it. Cruising in the wheel, feeling alright. Turn up my worship at the red light. Getting lost in my praise, but I'm too high. Light turn green, now they honking, they'll be alright. Cruising in the wheel, feeling alright. Turn up my worship at the red light. Getting lost in my praise, but I'm too high. Light turn green, now they honking, they'll be alright. I just do what's required, this ain't my ways. Wait a minute, why they looking at me sideways? All the shade rolling in like a tidal wave. I just learned to turn it up on them highways. Going through, praise God, you forget the hurt. Praising God, water seeds that be in the dirt. Got my worship on high on the way to work. Ayy, swerving in my Challenger, skirt, skirt. Gotta even learn to do it in the bad times. Broken heart even in the sad times. He can change the game around before it's even halftime. Put the enemy to sleep before it's nap time. The God I praise hold all the power. FP&L ain't got nothing on his tower. He can bring them lights any minute, any hour. He the one that turn your seed, homie, to a flower. Thank God for the tents when the windows up. I be crying like a baby for a sippy cup. Tears rolling down my face, begging God to lift me up. Had a bad day, that's a good pick me up. Thank God for the tents when the windows up. I be crying like a baby for a sippy cup. Ayy, tears rolling down my face, begging God to lift me up. Had a bad day, boy, that's a good pick me up. Cruising in the wheel, feeling alright. Turn up my worship at the red light. Getting lost in my praise, but I'm too high. Light turn green, now they honking, they'll be alright. Cruising in the wheel, feeling alright. Turn up my worship at the red light. Getting lost in my praise, but I'm too high. Light turn green, now they honking, they'll be alright.